Yeah, if you have more tin production, if you have some peace and quiet in Plateau State, from food to tin production, which is a mineral resource, which is a lot easier to get, even than gold and others, we should still be able to get something done there. But let's leave all these very heavy stories and come down to our food basket. So, flour prices is going up, and you have on your news not so good news that the price of rice and palm oil are increasing. What are you doing to my breakfast, Bolanle?
Well, it's not surprising at this time. You know, we've mentioned repeatedly that we're entering the planting season and we're still in it, full on in it at the moment. So it's not surprising that, you know, some of these commodities are actually increasing in prices. The only thing we need to look at is how they affect, you know, our inflation rate in coming terms. Although we've seen month-on-month inflation increase, so we understand that uptick in prices would obviously affect, you know, August inflation, July inflation, and as well. But we'd only expect that this price tick to be temporary. We don't expect it to, you know, feed on for so long. I think as domestic or manufacturers, you know, see how the economy is moving, they would obviously shift their prices according to that. So right now, supply is tight, so it's expected that, you know, prices would increase. And at some point, when we see that supply has actually increased, they would obviously decline or reduce their prices.
Yes, but again, we're looking at inflation report for the month of June on Friday from the statistics office. What's your take with your team at FDC?
Well, we expect inflation to decline to about 11.1%. It's not really huge compared to what inflation was in May, but well, we do expect month-on-month inflation to actually increase as well. But at this time, it also depends on what the MPC would do according to, you know, this decline in inflation rates. Will they actually, you know, move interest rates downwards or keep them static? We don't know for now, but we suggest that if they do, or if they want to, you know, decline interest rates, now is the only time to do that. After now, there is it makes no sense to, you know, move interest rates due to the fact that election season has begun.
Okay, let's touch a little bit with the global space for commodities. I've read in the last few days about sugar, that because of healthy drinks and healthy beverages, there's a glut in the sugar market, and prices is also falling because everybody's trying to sidestep sugar and go the way of honey, as it were. I'm trying to keep to that as well here. So I hope you're doing the same thing as well. Take us to the sugar market.
Well, the sugar market has remained relatively the same over the past few months. We've seen a lot of health concerns, especially in India. We have a lot of, you know, increased supply of sugar, but we don't, you know, the demand has actually been tapering. So this has affected the prices. Right now, I think the prices have remained stable. We haven't seen any significant change in the prices. Why? Because, you know, there hasn't been any uptick in demand. And we expect that this should actually remain, you know, relatively stable for the next few months. Why? Because this era is a fundamental change in the sugar demand aspects. But other commodity prices, we've seen that the major impact of this, it has to do with the feud between US and China when it comes to trade, and the fact that US keeps, you know, putting more products on the list of products that, you know, they can't be exported or imported from China. So this has, well, we expect this to affect, you know, most of commodities, not just oil, all round. So we're seeing an era of, you know, reduction in prices of some of these commodities globally. And also with the strengthening of the dollar and the weakening of the Chinese yuan as a result, has also affected, you know, the prices of some of the commodities as well.
Yeah, if we stick with the sugar story, we are still a very huge sugar consuming nation here at home in Nigeria. So despite these prices remaining stable and what have you, folks still want some sugar. It's just an attraction, as it were. So Dangote Sugar, for example, is still a kingpin in our consumer space, one of the companies listed on the exchange. So we're not winning ourselves any sugar consumption anytime soon?
Well, no. When it comes to Nigeria, although Dangote, produces enough sugar for us to consume within the domestic economy, we still import a lot. So regarding us, we're still, on that level of importing a lot of sugar. But are we that significant to affect the price of sugar globally? No, we're not. So, our demand for sugar within Nigeria only has to do with, what we consume here, what Dangote produces, which is more or less moving towards a space where it's actually enough for the Nigerian economy. And also you have a lot of people, well, because we're getting more educated day by day, you have a lot of people that are becoming more aware of their health, more aware of, what to do about, increasing their life expectancy. So that has also played into the demand consumption as well.
Well, I'm Little from FDC, one of the research analysts and economists there with the team. Thank you very much and looking forward. Let's get together again on Friday and wrap up the week and see how things play out. Enjoy yourself out of Lagos.
Thank you.